Hey, my creative friends. I am Shannon from Shannon Studio, and you can find my art and creativity stuff at shannonstudio.com. But here we talk about a creative lifestyle and all things that will kind of lead to time to have a creative life and mind shifts and how it plays out. And there's Trisha. Hey, Trisha. Hey, Rose. So, it's interesting. Well, first off, the day. Let's see. Joseph's been sick, so he's been kind of puny today, and he is a great sick kid. He's just a great kid all around. But he was so easy today. But we'll probably have another day or so. It's kind of probably just a couple day thing. Today is my grandmother's birthday. She passed away quite a while ago, but I was going through doing some work stuff and I came across a photo I didn't even know I had. It was the front cover of a book. In our family, we write in the books when we give them to people. Alan's family doesn't do that. It was so interesting when we first got married. I wrote, I would write in the front of his books, and he wouldn't do that. Except it was like about 5 years into marriage, then he wrote in the front of a book for me. And I cherish that. So anyways, I found this photo that I had taken of my grandmother writing something in the front of a book for me. And then I came across the picture of a recipe that we had done together, Mounds bars. And so it's just like, it's not anything really, but it's just like this connection that you go, Graham, I'm thinking of you too. And so that was just a sweet little moment for me. And also, I was going to show you. Conversation Hearts. So we did this. So I kind of left room because I think what I'm going to do next year is add to it. But you can see we did that. And then I went, because the last time when we did that fabric thing, a couple of you mentioned, if it's made into fabric, I want it. So I thought I would put it on there in Zazzle for cards or tote. So you could maybe give it as a gift or something. So I just, I haven't tested it out because I usually will always test out products with the design. I'm pretty sure this is pretty straightforward. I did high DPI. There were no little things, because a lot of times when you do Zazzle, they'll say, check your file, it's not big enough. So you know that the resolution's not going to come out that great. They're really good that way. So I think it's going to be okay, but I just want to let you know I haven't tested it. Tricia says, I would love advice how to order on Zazzle. It did not take me to an order link. Okay. I noticed after you mentioned that I had put that post in twice. Well, actually, I put it once in Facebook, put it on Instagram. Instagram feeds it over to Facebook automatically. So I took that one off. So the one that I left on should have links that take you directly at the top where I put in, that was, put in my text. At the bottom of that, it says more. Click the more, and there's two links on there that should take you directly to it. Hey, Lars. Sorry, I always want to say Lars, but Lar. I hope you show us the little fabric, the dress you make for your little granddaughter from the Love Letters fabric collection. Okay, so this is something fun. I don't know. I just thought it would be fun if I got a card that we all participated in. So I think I'm going to order a card or something just because it's fun. It's like girlfriends doing a thing together, and so. So I wanted to put that on. Trisha, let me know if you have any problems with that still when you go back. And that kind of leads me to, and name that fabric. I put name that fabric on tonight, and I saw some Rose. I think you already made some suggestions on it. It takes me a long time to come up with the right words. Whereas some of you, like Allison, was like, bam, she had 8 suggestions right now. I mean, I barely probably pushed the post button. And she already had, off the top of her head, comments. Kathleen did, Rose, you put some on. So it's so nice for me because it takes me a long time to come up with any kind of decent wording for things and to be real clever with wording. I have to work at that. And there's so many other things right now that I'm doing. I don't want to have to work that hard at something. Besides the fact that there's lots of talent out there in my friends anyways. And we did this last year, and it was so fun to see the different ideas that came across. So I really, really liked that idea last year, and I thought I'm totally going to do it this year. And I think I talked to Jess, because the fabric I got is in the States and I'm in Sweden. So I talked to Jess, and I think we'll mail out some fabric to people who we pick the name. We choose the name. So spread that around, or not, to other creative people. It is just fun, I think, sometimes when we're busy, to be able to have creative moments that it's not like I have to do, I have to get out everything. I have to, I have to make time and schedule time. It's just insert creative moments and, have a little fun with it and not have it be this big stressor. And that's kind of what I want to do with the Free-for-All Fridays, with naming the fabric, with different things, is to kind of show you how creativity can be small things. But even those small things bring about benefits, the benefits of creativity. So, and it's just play, it's just fun, it's spontaneous. Some of these things, like my Free-for-All Friday, I do not know what I'm going to do. So that's a good challenge for me too. So, but like, and so for the tip tonight, I was thinking, I have a whole list of things. I have cards that have outlines. I have a list of things to talk about. And so, but it's so funny to me because I'll get to this point, in a certain point during the day, I'll go, okay, what am I going to do for the creative life tip tonight? It's like I do this every day. I've done it for 180 plus days. It's not like a surprise it's coming, but I really realized tonight that it feels like to me when I come on, and that it's more like it's a bunch of us girlfriends sitting around talking. And when we're sitting around talking, there's certain topics we want to bring up and talk about, and some we don't want to talk about. It depends on the day and the feel and, what's been happening. And so that's kind of what it is for me. I kind of think, what do I want to talk about today? Because with the girlfriends, 193 days, has it been 193 days, Trisha? Oh my goodness. Okay. I haven't uploaded the last few days, and so I'm kind of off my count. And so, wow. I have to pat myself on the back because this was a hard goal for me. It was a hard goal, and yeah, it's just hard. It was just, I mean, a lot of you know me and know I can get up and speak and do certain things, but this one was, across the threshold of it was just hard. So, but I'm glad I'm doing it. I'm learning a lot from doing it. I hope you guys are learning a lot, or even a little. I'd be happy with if you just got a nugget. So anyways, okay, girlfriends talking. And so today I was thinking about something. There's a gal that is coming over, and she asked me, we were talking about marriage, relationships, that sort of thing. And she asked me a couple of questions, and I'm going to talk about one of the other questions she asked me that are just, interesting. It made me think, because we have assumptions about what we think something should be. And I didn't realize I had this assumption until she questioned it. So we're sitting there talking and over lunch, and she asked me, well, I said, you have to take care of you. We have to take care of ourselves. Nobody takes care of us. And she looked at me and she goes, what about your husband? And I just was like, what about my husband? I said, no, my husband doesn't have to take care of me. And I said, I take care of myself. He doesn't know what's in my head. He doesn't know, I mean, he knows me better than anybody, but he still doesn't know what goes on inside my head. I mean, we're pretty good at reading our spouses, but still, there's places in our own heads that nobody knows. And so he doesn't know that. He doesn't know if I'm starting into a struggle. He doesn't know if I'm, if I'm, have these serious questions unless I articulate that with him. I said, no, I need to take care of myself. I need to bring somebody whole to the relationship. I need to, it's interesting, I need to be independent in my interdependent relationship. And I mean, that's kind of weird, but I think saying, making opportunity for you to be whole. Because I made a little poster thing a few years ago for my other website, ldsnest.com. And it was, all you need is love, and in big letters, because everybody says that. And then I said, and patience, persistence, sacrifice, acceptance, selflessness, fidelity, consistency, kindness, vision. Yeah, you might want to rethink that all you need is love, all you need thing. Because it's like, really, love is the foundation, but that's not all you need. Anybody that's been married for any amount of time knows that there is much more that goes into it besides love. If it were just love, a lot of people would stay married. And it's not love. And I think maybe that's the fallacy, that all you need is love. No, you need a whole lot more than that. And we have to be okay with some of these other things, like sacrifice. You have to be okay with sacrifice. So for instance, you have kids, you have a spouse, you don't get to make decisions all by yourself anymore. And you make them as a couple. And that's hard for some people to do that, but when you make a choice for a partnership, that's the consequence. And I don't think people are realizing that, or even when we went into marriage, there were a lot of things we didn't realize that they had to play out, and then you go, oh, yeah. There were lots of things, and I think in the first few, after the first couple of years, those things start to show up. Like my husband he would stay after work late, and for 3 hours he wouldn't call me. And I'm like, what's up with that? And he was just like, not thinking he had to call me, that I wouldn't be worried or I wouldn't wonder where he was. It's so funny because there's a transition period that goes on when you get from single to married. And those things you have to talk about. We talked about the hard conversation yesterday. There's just things you have to do. But back to I digress into a different direction. What I'm saying is that we need to take care of ourselves. I watched the Marriage Story on Netflix, and so sad. And I kind of felt like she says in the story, she lost herself. And I think that's easy for women to do. We have so much that we are sacrificing, which is part of the deal, but sometimes we don't realize that's part of the deal. We don't accept our own decision. We feel like it's put upon us. And I felt that way before, and I felt like, this is, put upon me. And I was like, no, you made the decision. So the story is that, she feels put upon, and then they end up divorcing. And I think she felt like she had lost herself. I felt like she didn't take care of her own needs. We're constantly sacrificing. And marriage shouldn't be a constant sacrifice, though it entails sacrifice. It shouldn't be a constant where you're giving and and the other person's not. It's not a constant. You're being showing fidelity, but your spouse isn't. It's this whole give and take, this whole nuanced thing of working with another individual. And but in that wholeness, becoming one, you have to be healthy yourself. You have to realize, I need to have an interest or two. I need to, even if it's just being able to read about things, something. We have to have those things that are us. And the interesting thing is that being creative helps us do that. And I remember I would do my creative stuff. It was interesting in some of the outcomes. One of the outcomes is that my kids would be so proud of me. Alan too would be so proud of me and my kids would say, my mom does this or my mom does that, and show some of the stuff that I had done. And I that wasn't obviously what I was going for, but there's that, they saw me, they identified me outside of them, outside of their mom. And they were very proud of that. And I wasn't out making money. I wasn't out doing, doing anything professional. I was just doing. I was doing creative things. And the creative things were exciting and brought life to me and made me a different person. And same with Alan. He will talk about some things, and it's funny to watch him, and it tickles me that he's happy for me. But I have to work at doing things that make me a whole person so that I can bring that whole person as a spouse and as a mom. So that's the tip today, to take care of yourself. Be a whole person. Be independent and bring that independence into the interdependent relationship. It's a great thing, because then it helps things not get so muddled in your relationship. I mean, I don't know how to describe it. Maybe you guys can describe it better, put it in the comments. But it's like, when you come as an independent whole, then you know if somebody else is crossing a boundary, your spouse is crossing a boundary too far, or you aren't dependent. So like the gal said, she goes, well, what about your husband? I said, he doesn't have to take care of me. And I'm talking about emotionally, and our partnership is that he goes to work and takes care of other finances, and I take care of the family. And that's the way our arrangement is. But I'm talking about emotionally whole. I'm not looking for somebody else to take responsibility for that. I take responsibility for that. And when you take responsibility for you and that part of you to stay who you are, to have pieces of who you are better in every relationship, every single relationship. And I think particularly in your most significant relationships. So that is the tip. And creativity helps you do that 100%, keeps you who you are. Tricia says, I am a partner 100%. I take care of me, he takes care of him, and then we are a team. Totally true. I know Tricia and Coy, and that is totally true. And they are a strong couple, and they are able to, I'm just going to tattle a little bit on you, Tricia. They're able to really be an influence outside of the marriage because they are strong themselves. They help people all over the place. They helped us so much when we were building onto our house and doing all kinds of, for years. They were so helpful to us. And it's because they weren't constantly struggling as a couple. They were a whole. Each one of them was whole, came in, worked that wholeness of each other into something really special, and then they were able to move out from there. And that, you guys, that's a perfect example. If you knew Tricia, too bad you don't know Tricia and Coy, but some of you do, but find those people in your lives who are like that. And see what they're doing, how they're interacting. Use them as examples to say, I like that, what they do about themselves, and bring that in. Tricia says, and you always brought laughter. Maybe I didn't even think of that. Well, thank you. Okay, so that is the tip today. To bring out your whole self. Work on your whole self. Be whole and bring it to your relationship. And remember, you have a creative heartbeat, so listen for it, and I will be back tomorrow. Bye.